there was one guy voted into the Hall of Fame based on the Baseball Writers Association of America voting, and it was the one and only Scott Rolen. He last year got 10.2% of the votes, and this year he got a little over 75%. 75% is the threshold, so he is in. Nobody else got in. Brig, how do you feel about Scott Rolen being the only guy getting in?
So my immediate response is that I love this trend of one guy classes.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I'm like, let's keep it exclusive, right? It feels, when you do it this way, it just feels more exclusive, and it adds more pageantry and more mysticism around it, and it's the way it should be, I think.
Yeah, it does make it feel like a way more exclusive club, right? I just don't know that he was necessarily the one guy who should have gotten in. That's the only issue I have.
I agree with you.
Because he's okay, a 7-time All-Star, but those All-Star appearances stretch from 2002 all the way up to 2011.
Yeah.
In his age 36
He did win
season.
Rookie of the Year, and he was in the 2006 World Series.
Right, yeah.
8-time Golden Glove and a Silver Slugger. But here's what catches my attention is his career WAR is 70.1. And I know that we go back and forth on how much WAR really should be taken into account, but it seems to be a big factor in the voting as of the last handful of years.
I think so, because you've got guys who are big analytical guys, big statistical guys coming in and voting now, right?
That's what I'm saying. That new, kind of the new wave, the younger wave of voters, I feel like they're really leaning on WAR and some of these other sabermetrics to give them an idea of who they want to vote in. So I think that's what tipped the scales with Scott. I think that's what it was.
I think it is, and I think on that same vein, I feel like Colorado has really done Todd Helton dirty, which is a shame because he was a great player. I feel like he was better than Scott Rolen. He deserves to be in more than Scott Rolen does, but they like, well, no, he played in Colorado, so his numbers are going to be inflated. It's like, well, okay, then look at his road numbers.
Right.
Look at the role he played on his teams. That he was the leader of that team for how long? Right?
Like, I think so. Todd Helton.
It's really frustrating.
Todd Helton's a 5-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves, 4 Silver Sluggles. Let's call it Sluggles. He won a batting title. His career WAR 61.8 overall. They both had 17-year careers, and he finished number 2 in Rookie of the Year voting. Todd did.
Was it to Scott Rolen?
Good question. Let me see. That would have been 1998. I'll tell you right now.
I think it was.
They're 1 year apart. Scott won it in 97.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy.
Man, runner up again to Scott.
Dude.
There's a storyline. But no, not so much. But still, okay, so like I said, though, his whole career in Colorado, in 2000, he led the league in hits, RBIs, batting average of 372.
Yeah.
OPS 1.162, total bases 405.
Yeah.
I know that's only 1 year, but still, like he had a pretty good 5-year peak there, and then was consistently one of the better players on a Colorado team the rest of his career. So I don't know.
I feel like 5-year peak long enough though? That's the question, because I'm looking at Scott Rolen's numbers, and he never led the league in any single statistic of the major statistics outside of his Rookie of the Year voting. And he didn't lead the league in any of those numbers that year either, other than he won the Rookie of the Year. But
he's got a 281 lifetime batting average too. And I know the batting average is like we said, like the old average. Helton was 316. But here's the thing. Scott Rolen, to me, like looking at his baseball reference page, to me feels like somebody who is a Hall of Very Good. Consistent over the course of his 17-year career, right? The fact that he was able to come back and get 2 more All-Star appearances right at the very end of his career, very good to me. I don't know, because I don't think that he was consistent in those years in Toronto. This was his first year in Cincinnati, and it took him a while to get to his peak. I don't think that his peak was necessarily from 02 to 11, right? That he probably did one of these camel hump things, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway.
So I don't disagree with you. at all, but I don't know that Todd Helton deserves to be assessed above the very good club either.
Maybe you're right. Maybe there shouldn't have been anybody this year.
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't have bothered me.
It wouldn't have bothered
Would it have
me
bothered
either.
you?
No, it wouldn't have. And I think we talked about that before. That Todd Helton to me was the only guy, but if he didn't get in, I wasn't going to be upset. I'm a little bit upset now just because Scott Rolen did get in.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so here were some other notable vote getters. Helton, speaking of which, got 72.2% of the vote. He's like right there.
He's right there.
Right there. Yeah. Carlos Beltran got 46.5% despite all the sign stealing stuff. Because he's a Hall of Fame player.
One.
Right?
So,
yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years of the Hall of Fame voting. I think we'll keep track of that. A-Rod actually got 66% on his last year on the ballot. Andrew Jones got 58.1%. He's had a steady increase every year. This is his 6th year on the ballot. I think eventually he gets in.
I bet you're right. And everybody, so who did I hear from? There's a video going around right now where one of his former players or opponents or something said, "Who's the best baseball player you ever saw?" And he said Andrew Jones. I think it was a pitcher. And he was saying like the guy just knew where to be. And he would ask Andrew Jones, he'd be like, "Where do you want me to pitch him?" He's like, "What? Pitch him wherever you want, man." He's like, "No, where do you want? Because the ball's going to go to you, man. So like, what do you want me to do?" That was really a cool interview.
That is cool. That's really interesting. And then Gary Sheffield got 55% of the vote. I don't know that he's necessarily going to ever get in. Another Hall.
He made some spectacular plays. His highlight reel is so cool.
I'd say
but it's not good enough.
Highlights.
it might not be. I mean, you can't base it on a highlight reel. But yeah, I'm wondering about Carlos Beltran and his PED use.
I don't think there was any. I think it's all sign stealing related.
Yeah, but I feel like we keep having to ask this question. Why does my brain think Carlos Beltran has popped hot?
I think just because of the sign stealing stuff that now his legacy is tainted. So like, I think automatically when we think of tainted legacy, we go to PEDs, right?
Yeah.
And so I think
that's it.
But there is one other guy getting into the Hall this year, and it is thanks to the Culture Club. It is Fred McGriff.
Yeah,
I said before that I didn't think he was going to get in, but I'm absolutely okay with him getting in. I loved the Crime Dog growing up.
Totally,
big time. I think everybody did.
Yeah. Yep. Enough said. He's got a pretty compelling argument as well, but the Culture Club saved his butt, and that's pretty cool.
Yep, good for him. Congratulations, Scott Rolen and Fred McGriff.